Right. Welcome to Neuro-Movement for Parkinson's. My name is Stephanie, and we are continuing on this month of November, working on transitions from kneeling to standing. So throughout the last 6 months or so, we've been working on different transitions of getting from one level on the floor and slowly building to more upright postures. So November, we're working on kneeling to standing exercises. And as we start to come on to our feet are now our new base of support when we're standing. We need to make sure that those feet are active and supple, and mobile and strong, so that we can create that solid base for then which all of our movement and all of our mobility grows up from. All right. So we've been working on foot mobility through this month, and we're going to continue on through next month as well. So make sure that you have a foot release ball, something the size of about a tennis ball is nice, and ideally with a little bit of give. So a tennis ball works great. If you have one of these fancy foot release balls, you can use one of those as well. And we're going to go through our little routine that we've been working on. I'm going to pull the camera down low so you can have a better picture of my feet. Hopefully they don't scare you too much. Dad's like, they look like your mother's. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we're gonna start with the ball under one foot, and of course use a balance tool if you need some support here, because you kind of are in a single leg balance while you're doing these. You can pull over a chair or stand next to a wall, and we're gonna smash that ball. Go ahead and smash the ball. And we're going to smash that ball all through the foot. So find all those different places. Some of the spots that we're going to spend a little bit of extra time on are at the kind of the front part of your heel. So if this is the back part of the heel, kind of the front part of the heel, and working some pumping there. That's why you want a little give in the ball, so that it isn't such a hard surface to be pressing through the bottom of your feet. And then let's have you come to the middle part of your foot. So right in the middle of that arch, and place a lot of weight through that ball there, and see if you can get somewhat of your heel and your toes to touch the floor at the same time, and then release. And then the toes and the heel. Ooh, that's tricky. Yeah. To get both of them to touch, that means your foot has to arch over the ball. And we'll do that one more time. Lots of weight through the ball. The idea here is that we want those bones to ooze over the sides of the ball. Very nice. Now let's bring that ball a little bit more forward. So if it was in the middle of the arch, now it's going to be more sort of at underneath the ball of the foot, or even just like right forward of the ball of the foot. And I love this one specifically because it helps us separate what's called the metatarsals of the foot. So the bones that kind of create the fingers of the toes, they actually start like pretty far down. They actually kind of start like right here. Your toe, just the skin of your toe just starts a little bit forward. So we're going to separate those toes, the fingers of your toes, as they kind of spring out from the other bones. And with this one, we want, again, the bones to ooze on either side. So seeing if you can create some width in your foot. And you can stomp and then lift off. Good. Great. So we'll step that ball off to the side, and you might want to hold on to something for this one. We're going to fold those toes back. You've got to point your toes a little bit to get in that position so that your toenails are down. And we're going to roll the foot from side to side. So pinky toe side of your foot all the way to the big toe side. And you're stretching the top of your foot there, so that when we do our heel sit, when we sit back on our heels in a kneeling position, you have that range of motion in the front of your ankle there. That's what we're looking for as well, the stretching of the front of the ankle as well as the toes. And then let's go into some circles. both directions. A little tighter on that side of my foot. Good. And then flip those toes around so that now we're going to stretch the foot in this position, trying to keep the ball of the foot. So again, where those toe fingers start, down as you lift up. So we're just going to go heel down, heel up. And I want those unrealistic, like Barbie stilettos, right, Alana? Do we remember Barbie stilettos where she's like on the tiptoes there? See how high you can get that effort on top of the ball of the foot. This is best done barefoot. So I should have said that at the beginning, but that helps you sort of see what's going on. All right, here's a new one. We're gonna do a little new one. I want to see if I can get kind of more of a top view of it. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna take your foot and we're gonna, so if you're standing normal, we're gonna take your leg and internally rotate your leg. Okay. We're gonna lift up the heel and then spiral the foot so that it separates that big toe, and then lower the heel down. And then we will reset everything. Okay. So we're gonna go internal rotation, lift up on the heel, push your toe down. So that way, when you spiral and pivot, the traction of your toe, like the stickiness of the toe, kind of keeps it centered. And I know that looks really weird, but we're stretching that joint there, giving your feet some breadth and width. Like what I said, we want wide feet. And let's just do that one more time. So internal rotation, lift the heel, push the toe down, spin the foot, and then lower the heel. And hopefully the stickiness of that mat helped you separate that toe. Okay. And then reset. We're going to grab your ball again, and we're just going to go through this quick stretch here. Some of you were saying how that ball likes to slip out. So you can do it against a wall or a piece of furniture, like the leg of a table or something. And we want to have as much of the ball of the foot down as you can, and then as much as of the toe as you can. And hopefully your ball is an appropriate size, which allows the other toes to be down. You're really stretching that big toe. And we're going to push the toe down and then lift the toe up. Pushing the toe down and lifting the toe up. And it's okay if your ball is not squishy. The idea of this one is to activate the toe muscles that push down and give yourself an arch. So we're just going to push down and hold for about 5 seconds. And then return. We'll do that 2 more times. And return. And last one. Good. And return. Nice job. Go ahead and just stand with both feet next to one another. And look down at your feet, especially if you're not wearing socks. And notice if you see a difference between the foot that you just worked on and the foot that is yet to be worked on. And I know that we have sort of done this over and over again, but I always find it so fascinating to compare. Maybe one foot feels wider. Like I noticed that I can actually like move my toe out to the side a little bit more. This one's still like not sure what to do. Yeah. And then give yourself maybe just a little tread from side to side. You can hold on to a chair if you need to, and notice which side feels just a little bit more ready to move. And remember, in your gait and walking, it starts at your feet, like your feet touching the ground, and your ability to mobilize your feet will dictate what your hips do and what your spine does. Okay. Worth doing the other side, yeah? Here we go. Other foot. Go ahead and just do a general punch. And maybe take some notes of like, oh, that needs a little bit extra love. And we're going to go through those 3 points together, where we have the heel, like right in front of your heel. And we're going to push and lift. So you're shifting your body weight onto the ball and then off. And just know that that ball is obviously, there's a potential for that ball to roll away. So if you're not sure about your balance, just have a chair nearby or hold on to a chair. Good. And then we're going to come to the middle of the foot, the arch. And again, weight goes onto it. See if you can have the toe and the heels touching the floor. They don't have to have weight in them, just touching. And then release off. And depending on how big your ball is and how squishy your ball, that might change too. So if you're like, whoa, I'm really far away from the floor, maybe you're using a different ball. That could be why. If your feet are tight, that could also be why. Do one more in the midfoot. Okay. And then go ahead and place it right on the ball of the foot there and try to let your bones ooze from side to side. Oh, that kind of felt good. What if you took your other foot and sort of like created a little massage on the top? If your balance is there. All right, a little extra bonus. That's kind of nice. And maybe one or two of those. This is always a good spot to work. This is my favorite spot to work. And then we'll just cast the ball off. Look at mine's deformed. It'll come back. We're going to do the top of the foot stretch now. So reaching the toes back, you got to point your toes in order to get that orientation of the toenails. And then rolling from side to side. So pinky side of the foot, and then all the way over to the big toe side. And remembering that we're not only trying to stretch the toes, but we're trying to stretch the front part of your ankle here. And then circles. And then reverse circles. Yep. And then let's go toe pads down and go for that super high Barbie high heel and then lower the heel down. Super high Barbie. Again, trying to get this like vertical position here, opening up in the front of the ankle and then lower down. Nice. A little bit of strengthening as well as mobility in that big toe. Maybe one more. And then we'll grab our ball again for, oh wait, before we do the ball, we got to do the little twist, the new one. So if you're standing normal, straight foot forward, we're going to internally rotate the foot, lift up the heel, spiral the foot, and then lower the heel down. And hopefully you have a bit more space here than you normally would. Just have a moment where you're standing like that and then reset. We'll go internal rotation, heel lift, make sure that you're pushing down the toes so that they catch on the stickiness of your mat, twist and lower down. It's almost like this toe is facing off that way. And then reset. And we'll do one more of those. Oops, internal rotation, lift the heel, spiral the toe, and lower down. Yep. And then reset. And then let's do the ball under the big toe, grand finale. So we got big toe, head underneath, balls tucked under that big toe. See if you can get the pinkies to rest on the other side. And we're just going to push down on that ball and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Nice job. Take the ball out of the way. Go ahead and bring your feet down on the ground. Play with some of those toe movements. My left one is a little confused still, but it's a bit better. And then go ahead and tread through from side to side. Well done. All right, so you know at the end of every class, but I'll ask now, I always ask, which one of those drills are you going to commit to for every day of the next week? Just pick one of the drills to work on and incorporate in your day. One of your favorites, the one that felt the most, the best, and the most, the best. All right. Okay, we're gonna start with some standing exercises here. So grabbing your chair or a wall to hold on to, and we're gonna work on some standing exercises that then bring us down to the mat, all right? So we're gonna start standing here. Everyone's got their chair, facing the back side of their chair. Yep, and we're gonna come up into a high heel raise, and then lower the heels down. We're starting very simple, high heel raise, and then lower the heels down. How high can you get those heels? Lift them up and lower down. Good. On the way down, try not to let gravity win. In fact, I want you to lower down so slow that your heels are just gonna kiss the ground and then they'll come back up. So you're not actually weight shifting into the heels. You're just gonna lower, tap the heels, and then bring them back up. Yep, and we're gonna do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice job. From here, left foot's gonna step forward, right foot steps back in a long stride, longer than you think you need to. So your first attempt, and then go 1 more step back, okay? See if you can get that back foot to be straight forward. So look down at that foot. Some of us may have feet sort of like shifted off on a diagonal or to the side. See if we can get that foot forward. And I know it's going to be a calf stretch or some work in the toes. That's what we're here for, yeah? We're going to lift the heel up and then bend your knees just a little bit. Bring yourself back up to that full stand and then lower the heel down. Yep, we're going to lift the heel up, lower down just a little bit, bring it up to stand, and then lower the heel. Couple more. Lift the heel, bend, stand, and then heel drop. Go ahead and move at your own pace. We'll do this for time, about 10 more seconds. Ooh, are those calves getting some work, huh? Yep. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and step together. Let's do the other side. Other leg goes back. Remember, your first attempt at striding backwards is probably going to be a little shallow. Perception versus reality. Take 1 more inch back. Yeah, nice. And then take a look at that back foot. Make sure it's forward and not diagonal or to the side. We want to be rolling over the ball of the foot. All right. Lift the heel up. You're in that Barbie high heel. Right, guys? Bend the knees down. Lift yourself up to stand and then reach the heel down behind you. Go ahead and move through that sequence, that little alternating heel drop, heel lift, knee bend, knee straighten. That sequence there for about 20 more seconds. Good. Eyes are up. You're feeling confident. The ground is boring. There's nothing going on there. There we go. Let's go 2 and 1 more cycle. Yep. Nice job. And step together. We are going to turn that chair around, or you can walk around so that you have space or orientation to sit into it. So let's go ahead and take a seat. Yeah, and then we're going to separate your feet about chair width or wider. Okay, and you're going to sit very close to the front edge of that chair. Right here, we're going to lower our heart down below the level of our thighs. So how far can you drop your heart down? You can keep your hands on your thighs, and we're going to round the spine and pull ourselves up to tall, sitting the eyes, lift up at the last second there. Now, can you arch your back as you come forward? And then drop your head round your spine and draw up on your abdominals to come up into that posture. Okay. Well, open up, puff up your chest, arch your back as you hinge forward. Round your spine to come all the way up. Eyes up. Let's do that 3 more times. Arch your back as you come forward. Round the spine and come back. Arch the spine and come forward. Round the spine and come back. Hands on your thighs. One more time. We arch the spine as you come forward. Your knees are really, really wide. Knees are really, really wide, so you have space to bring your torso between them. Nice job. And then bring it on up. All right. Slide your heels back. We're going to get ready to stand up out of that chair. Some of you just got situated down, but here we are. We're here to move. We're going to push off that chair or reach the arms forward enough so that you can stand up. Okay. So we're working on efficiency of your sit to stand. I want your feet back underneath you and your weight in your toes. Your weight in your toes. There it is. Sit the hips back, and we're going to fully unload or deload at the base. Okay. So you sat in your chair. Reach the arms forward or push off the back of the chair. Bring yourself all the way up, and notice that your weight is forward in your toes. Okay. Same thing. We sit the hips back and take a full seat. Okay. We're going to do this for about 30 to 40 more seconds. You're going to work at a pace that makes sense for you. All right. Here we go. Just your normal sit to stands up. Open up your chest at the top. Weight is forward, and then nice and slow sit down. And I want you to fully unload from that. Here we go. We're going for time interval, so you can move at a pace that makes sense, but everyone's doing the same thing for the time interval, yeah? And I want you to try to, if this feels relatively easy for you, you can pick up your tempo, get that heart rate going a little bit. Yep, nice, good. Unloading fully and then up. Perfect, you got 10 more seconds, nice work team. Don't tire yourself too much, we still got the rest of class. 3, 2, and 1. Stand up and meet me at the top. Good. We're going to take your right foot and it's going to step forward. We're going to take that right foot, step it back. Left foot, step it forward. Left foot, step it back. Here we go. Right foot, step forward. Right foot, step back. Left foot, step forward. Left foot, step back. So simple, yeah? Now, what if you touched your opposite quad when you stepped? So touch with the opposite hand. Touch, step, back, touch, step, and back. Nice job. If you do not need to look at your feet, if you're like, okay, there's nothing to trip on there, you can look up. Good. We're going to go 2 more. And last one. Awesome. Take a seat back down in the chair. We're going to combine those 2 exercises. We're going to do stand, step forward, step back, take a seat. Okay. Time interval again, 40 seconds, ready, go. And you're going to alternate the leg that you're stepping forward on. Okay. So step forward, step back, stand, step forward, step back, take a seat. If you have the mind for it, cross the body, tap your quad with the opposite hand that you're stepping forward. This is like you got out of your chair and you're ready to go do something. Nice. About 15 seconds to go. Good morning, Teresa. Working at a pace that makes sense to you. 5, 4, 3, 2, finish standing and meet me up here. Awesome. We're just gonna work ourselves around to turn around and face the chair. Take your time, but that first step forward is kind of that base for that. Yeah. And we're gonna bring our hands onto the front part of your chair. And let's have your feet relatively underneath your hips to start. So you can see that my heels, my knees, and my hips are in line, and my shoulders and my wrists are also in line, just stacked right on top of each other. Great. We're going to take your right foot to the right corner of your chair, and then step it back. Left foot to the left corner of the chair and step it back. Right foot to right corner and step it back. Left foot to left corner. So simple, but working on some agility here. How quickly can you switch from side to side? Yep. Great, we'll do 2 more here. And last one. Great, pause. We're gonna take your right foot forward to the right corner and lower your left knee down all the way to the ground. So now you're in the split kneeling position and you have the chair in front of you, yeah? We good right here? Okay, so we can all agree we have the right foot forward, yeah? So when I say rights and lefts, we're all on the same page. Alrighty, we're gonna take your you're gonna take your right hand. I'm gonna switch because I'm facing you now. So we have our right foot forward. No, you don't have to switch. We're all with the right foot forward. I'm just gonna mirror you. So we're gonna take our right hand, we're gonna lift it up towards the ceiling, rotate behind you, look behind you, and find something behind you that is now going to be your new spot. Okay, so you're looking for something behind you, that's gonna be your new spot. Sweep the hand forward and touch the chair, the top of the back of the chair with your right hand. You're gonna lean forward and touch it. From there, we go up and around, look at your spot behind you. What was that commitment? Swing forward and reach and touch the chair in front of you. Good, so big circles in that arm. I'm just giving you some targets for you to move through. Your hand's gonna swing past your hips as it comes around, past your hips, and then to the front part of the chair. There's a little bit of reaching and leaning there. Rotate, look behind you, and then chair. Good. I'm not going to change anything for the next 10 seconds. So just working on turning your head to the spot behind you and then forward. I'm not going to change anything. You're just going to work on that. You're going to move your head now. We're going to go for about 3 more seconds, 2 and 1. Nice job. Replace this knee down on the ground. And we're going to bring now your left foot forward. And we'll do the same exact thing on this side with the rotations. Okay, right here. Yeah. Go ahead and touch the back of your chair with your left hand. Top of your chair, hopefully you can reach. Stretch for it. Lift the arm up. Turn around. Find your new target spot with your eyes and turning your head. Sweep the hand past your hips and touch the back of the chair. There you go. Up and around. Look behind you. Find your target. Touch the chair. I'm not going to change anything for the next 25 seconds. So you can just work on exploring that range of motion. Think about big circles with those shoulders. Open up your heart. Yep. Show your side of the room, the logo that's on your shirt or the buttons on your shirt. Show that side of the room what's going on the front of your heart there. Yep. Good. We'll go for about 5 more seconds. 4 more seconds. 3, 2, and last one. Wow. And return. Nice job. Let's bring this knee down onto the floor as well. So now we're in a tall kneeling position. Now, some of you, if you can, maybe push this chair off to the side so that we have a little bit more space in front of us. Okay. Or move yourself away from the chair. One of the two. Either way, whatever's easier for you. Alrighty, so we have our feet are going to be untucked behind us so that the laces, quote unquote, laces of your feet would be on the floor. And we're gonna go ahead and lower your hips down so that you're sitting on towards your heels. Maybe the expectation is just coming towards your heels. Some of you, if you have tight quads or tight front part of your ankle, this is going to be challenging. That's what we're working on, is the mobility of your knees and your feet and ankles here. From here, you're just going to get yourself settled, and we're going to alternate. So you're going to come up, and then we're going to tuck your toes underneath. So now the toe pads are there, and you'll sit your hips back on top of your heels in this orientation. Okay. You'll take a couple breaths in this position, and then we'll come up and switch to the other. This is going to be, again, a time exercise, so feel free to work at your own pace, switching from laces down to toes down, okay? I'm not going to change anything up here. You can look forward so that you're orienting your posture. If you're looking forward at me, sometimes that's just helpful to orient yourself so that you're looking at me. But that way you're not like cranking your neck all the time, looking at the screen. And just taking your time. If you cramp quickly, take a visit and then come back up. Good, going from low kneeling on the heel sit to toe sit. Let's do one more time and then finish with the laces down. Finish with the laces down, From here, we're gonna work to separate your knees apart and then come down onto your elbows. So it's kind of like a frog stretch, child's pose stretch. You're gonna interlace your fingers, pull your hips forward, and then sit your hips back, okay? Yeah. Bonus points if you can look over the tops of your thumbs the entire time, even when the hips are back. Working on your extension mobility of your spine, your arching of your back. How far can you get your hips back over your heels? And we have our knees wide, so your torso should be able to sort of like fit in between your thighs, okay? You shouldn't be blocked by your thighs. Separate your knees if you need to, a little bit more space. And we'll do 2 or 3 more of those. And then let's come into hands and knees, quadruped. So press yourself up, walk your knees together so that they're right underneath you again. So instead of being like splayed out, we're right underneath, yeah? All right, so in your quadruped position, the first time placing a lot of weight through those wrists there, we're gonna separate your fingers as much as you can. Very similar to when we were separating the toes earlier, when we did that little corkscrew. From here, we're gonna do cat-cow, flexion and extension. However, we're gonna always start with the tail. So I like to start an extension, wide sit bones, collarbones open, eyes are up. And then we're gonna tuck the tail first and let that energy wave through from the base of your spine all the way through your mid-back, your neck, and your head. Again, start with your tail on the way up. So you're gonna let your tail lift. And then let that energy wave through the body, pushing the ground away, and then the eyes come up. Okay. If you need to watch a quick demo, you can watch. I'm not going to change what we're doing for the next 30 seconds. So you can watch the demo and then move through it on your own for 30 to 40 seconds here. Okay. I want you to try to feel how many segments of your spine can have their own opportunity to change shape. So you have 24 segments in your spine. I'd be hard pressed to, like, I don't even have 24 segments that I'm feeling in my body. Of course, I have them in my body, but think of it maybe as 3 different segments to start. And then you can kind of think about 4 segments to separate as you're flowing through. We're going to go one more time, arch down and arch up. Very good. Shift the hips back enough that you're off-weighting your hands. We've been working on this one. We're going to bring one hand behind the back, the other hand behind your back or on your hips if that feels funky on your shoulders. Your eyes should be up. I want you looking to the other end of your mat if you're using a mat. And we're gonna bring ourselves into the full kneeling position. So hips underneath you and opening up your chest to the world. Yeah, eyes up. Beautiful. Now, look at something that's like maybe on the floor, but just beyond, maybe like 5 feet in front of you. Okay, find that thing. And we're gonna keep our eyes on that thing throughout this motion, okay? So keeping your eyes on that thing, go ahead and lower down into the hinge, the bow. What's your thing? One hand comes to the mat and then the other hand. Shift forward over your wrist. You're still looking at your thing. Shift back, still looking at your thing. One hand goes onto your hip or the small of the back, other hand, still looking at your thing and you're hinged. You're in your bow. Press the hips forward, eyes come up. Or head comes up, torso comes up, okay? We're gonna take our time bringing our hands down as well. So we're gonna hinge, eyes stay forward, keep your hands floating. Prove to yourself that you can hold this posture. You're like, no big deal, we've been working on this for 2 months. One hand comes down, then the other hand comes down. Gently shift your weight into your hands and shift forward over your wrists. Yep, shift back, one hand, eyes on your thing, lifting through the torso. All right, we're gonna do the same thing for another 25 seconds. Go ahead and move at your own pace. I'm not gonna narrate it, okay? Here we go. If you need a little demo, just bring your eyes up, watch, and then get back to work. Push. Working on a smooth transition from kneeling to quadruped, so we don't have to like crash and burn on our hands, yeah? Right, Billy Bob? William H, don't think I'm picking on you. I'm picking on the other William because he's my dad. Unless you want me to pick on you, I can pick on you too. Yeah. Shift, shift. All right, meet me in the tall kneeling position, team. Meet me up here. We've got a couple more minutes yet. We're gonna work now on this transition from tall kneeling to sitting. We've done this a few times. It's tricky. So we're gonna come down into your hinge. Your right arm is gonna reach really far out to the side. That's your outrigger, really far. And I know that I'm backwards to you. So right arm out to the side. Then your right leg is also gonna slide forward so that you can sit on your right hip. Okay, and I realize I did that. I'm not mirroring you. Listen to my words, not looking at me. And then we're gonna reverse that. And if you need to use your left hand to sort of get you up into quadruped, reset your feet and then bring yourself all the way up to your high kneeling position. Okay, tall kneeling. Okay, let's go through the same side again. Now you can mirror me. I'm actually gonna do your right side now. So right hand, so we're gonna hinge. Right hand reaches out really far to the side and a little bit forward. Right knee is gonna slide through and the right hip comes down. Okay. From here, we're gonna just reverse that whole thing. So we go up, use your left hand if you need to. The knee's gonna step back. You can kind of walk your hands into your quadruped, hand, and then high kneel. Okay. You can go at this at a pace that makes sense for you, okay? I'm gonna keep it kind of slow in case you need that demo and breakdown. If you don't need it, don't watch me. Just get after it, right? Working on that transition, getting confident with the moves there and the spacing and the control. Yeah. Reach, slide. Nice job. Good. We'll go for another 10 seconds or so. I'm gonna probably do one more on this right side. Great. Let's go ahead. When you get to that next point where you're in your tall kneeling, we'll switch to your left side. We're gonna go hinge, left hand goes really far out, left knee threads under and take a seat with your hip. Reverse engineer that. And then bring yourself up, all right? We're gonna go for 30 to 40 seconds. Go ahead and work at a piece that makes sense for you where you're exploring that. And to challenge this, you can obviously challenge by speed. You can also challenge by using your hands less and less. Yeah. So maybe it's just a step the knee forward and take a seat. That would be hard. And then leaning and standing up to reset, okay? Play with that. That's what these tight intervals are for. So everyone can work on a level that makes sense for them. Good, and we're gonna go for one more-ish. Yep. And up. And together. Nice job, team. All righty, we're gonna start to wrap it up here. Let's have you scoot into a place where you have a nice runway in front of you. And we are going to work on knee walking forward. And let's just do the first one. I'm not gonna over teach it. We're just gonna go. So you're gonna crawl on your knees, walking forward, and you're gonna go about 6 to 8 steps, okay? Once you hit the end of the rope, we're gonna come down onto hands and knees. Mind your transitions that we just worked on, so no plopping. And then crawl backwards, all the way to your start position. Just crawl backwards. Mind your transition up into tall kneeling that we've been working on, so smooth transitions. Once you hit the back end, you're gonna walk forward 6 to 8 steps, or as far as your runway will go. Go ahead and do that. And then mind your transition down and backwards crawl, all right? We're gonna go for about 30 seconds here through those two. Go ahead and work, I'm not gonna change anything. See how much arm swing you can get with that knee walking. You almost need more arm swing than normal because you have less limbs down below helping you. So lots of like throwing those arms around to help the momentum of moving forward. Be obnoxious. Yeah. Mind you, on the down to your quadruped, no falling, no plopping, keep it controlled. Let's go one more distance. Here we go. One more lap there and back. Awesome. I don't know about you, but my knees are ready to get off the floor, yeah? All right. Let's bring you up into your tall kneel position. Grab your chair again or crawl towards your chair. Whatever makes the most sense, yeah? And we're gonna work on that lift up from the ground. I'm gonna show with the chair, of course, options to not use the chair, all right? We're gonna stand back just a little bit so you're kind of in this forward lean. That'll give you enough space. We're gonna take right foot forward to the outside of your chair and then tuck your back toes. Tuck your back toes. Shift your weight into your hands. Press yourself up into that lunge. Beautiful, and we're just gonna stay here for a moment. Find that sweet spot where you have weight through your hands and you're lunging through. Lower the knee back down, and we're gonna go up and down through that, from the down kneel position to the lifted lunge position for about 15 more seconds, okay? Now, if you do not need the chair support, you can always take your right hand off, okay? Or maybe even both hands off. That's gonna be a balance challenge, okay? Lots of options. We're gonna go for about 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finish down on the floor. Lovely. Step the foot back. Left foot comes forward to the side of the chair, the front corner. Make sure it's wide. The wider your stance is, the easier it is to balance. We're gonna tuck that back toe so that it can help us. We mobilize those toes at the beginning, yeah? All right, press yourself up. And establish the strength in this position where you have your high lunge, okay? Hands are down on the chair if you need it. We're gonna lower the knee down to the ground and then press yourself up into that high lunge. Now, if you don't need as much assistance with the chair, again, left hand is gonna go on your hip or your thigh. And maybe some of you will go as far as to no hands on the chair at all, okay? That's gonna be a balance challenge, especially if you're doing that version. Spot something on the wall in front of you so that you can keep your balance. All right, we'll go for about 10 more seconds. There we go, all the way down, tap up, building the strength in your legs. 3, 2, finish on the up position. All right, we're gonna shift your weight into your right foot so your left foot can step back just a little bit. And then step your right foot forward. And now we're in this stacked position that we did earlier, yeah? Good. We're gonna weight shift forward into the toes and lift your heels. And then slowly lower the heels down. Similar to those heel lifts at the beginning of class, I don't want you to weight shift all the way back when the heels come down. It's almost as if it's one continuous repetition where you're just kissing the heels down and then lifting the heels up. Kissing the heels down and lifting the heels up. And you can keep some weight in your hands there. We're strengthening those shoulders by putting load through our arms. Good. Lifting those heels up, lowering down, not letting your heels slam on the floor. Just a little kiss. One more time. And then lower the heels down, pause. Shift your weight forward a little bit so that you have your weight definitely in your toes. Your heels can stay down. And we're gonna let ourselves let go of that chair in forward fold. And the chair might be in your way. Just go as far as you can. Keep your weight forward in your toes and round your spine up, one vertebrae at a time, like you're a zombie coming out of a swamp. Good. We're going to turn ourselves around and do the same thing. So turn around so you have the chair behind you. We're going to have the weight forward in your toes. Round your spine, coming down like a zombie. Good. You can bend your knees if you want to maybe touch the floor. And then round your spine to come all the way up. It's like a zombie coming out of a swamp. And your weight is forward in your toes. That's going to tell me that you're active in your feet. One more time. One more time. Round. Keep the weight forward. Feel the arches of your feet working for you. Take your time on the way up. If this is giving you vertigo, maybe just take a seat. We're almost done with this section. Good. And pop on up. Nice job. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling. And we're gonna do 5 double arm backstroke. Reaching around. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Excellent. Go ahead and start swinging those arms from side to side and adding an opposite leg march. Yeah, lifting up, starting to lift up those knees. And then if you would like to, take that march around the room with that really obnoxious marching arm swing. Walking around your space or walking, laps on your mat. Yep, just getting the arm swing going with the leg lifts. The arm swing plus the leg lift. Arm swing plus the leg lift. There we go. Weight shifting from side to side. We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and quiet. Nice job. Go ahead and stand in your station here. And we're going to do just a quick body scan to see and feel our body. If it makes sense for you to close your eyes, you can close your eyes to hone in. If you know you have balance issues or vestibular issues, maybe grab onto a wall or a chair if you decide to close your eyes. So in this moment here, I want you to notice where you feel in your feet, the weight distribution. Do you feel like you're in your right foot, the left foot, in the forefoot, in the heel? Are you swaying between quadrants? And remember that sway is good. That means there's not stagnation in your body. You're letting forces come in and out, which is going to make it a little bit easier to maintain balance if something bumps into you, right? You're going to be like, ooh, and you're kind of like a Gumby. You're like, okay, I'm just going to let that pass through me. Yeah. So we want that postural sway. So if you ever find yourself standing and you're feeling rigid and stiff, just allow yourself to weight shift and feel that postural sway. You can create it artificially. Making maybe figure eights with your hips. Yeah. Let's take one more breath in, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, and big exhale out. Excellent job. Thanks for joining me today. Quick reminder that next week is Thanksgiving, so we're having no class on Thanksgiving. I really encourage you to take a walk with family, or you can check out any of the recordings on YouTube, and then we will resume at the first week in December, and we're going to be working on agility and gait for December. Okay, so those are our announcements. I'll turn off the recording, and you can give me any feedback that you would like to share.